Hey guys, welcome back to the channel and to another King of Fighters video. You guys have probably seen, I expect this video is going to be going up on Sunday the 13th, so you've most likely seen that a bunch of people out there have gotten early access to review copies of the game, and so content is being put out both on YouTube and people are starting to stream it a bit on Twitch, so there's information out there to see. I sadly am not one of the YouTubers that got a review copy. Sad girl times. So I'm just like waiting and watching with all the rest of you guys suffering, like, please hurry up, let the days go faster. But so I thought it would be cool to check out some of the stuff that is currently available that my other very fortunate YouTubers friends received. And that can maybe help me kind of narrow down who I want to start trying out. I have an idea in my head, but this will give me some more concrete information about what some of the playstyles are like, especially with the characters that I haven't seen in any betas or anything like that yet. I'm sure if you watched my reactions, there was a lot of characters where I went, oh, that looks cool. I don't really understand what they're doing, but so this could maybe shed a little context. So before we actually get to that, I want to put out there a couple of shout outs for you guys, channels that if you are not yet following, I highly suggest you do. The first is for a very lovely friend of mine. Her name is Kiki. She streams on Twitch under KoF XV and also has a YouTube channel, the same name, and she is a variety content creator, but she is really also very much into fighting games, and she's done a lot of Tekken, a lot of Street Fighter, and she's going to be getting into King of Fighters 15 when it comes out, and she's super excited. So I'm going to put a link to her YouTube channel and her Twitch in the description of this video, and you guys could give her a follow, check her out. She would be super appreciative, I'm sure. And then the second one, you guys probably already know this person, but since I'm going to be watching some of his content today, I think it's only fair that he gets a shout out. Rooflemonger, who of course is a very significant individual in content creation in the FGC, coming up with all sorts of very informative guides and videos for pretty much every single new fighting game as it comes out. And King of Fighters being no exception. He's been following along with the progress, and all of the trailers and everything, all the betas. So he just released a video that is basically a character breakdown for people trying to pick who they want to play. So I'm going to go through and I'm going to watch that. Obviously, this on YouTube, you will not be seeing the whole thing. This is an hour and 47 minute video, and I'm not going to just react to his entire video. So please do also go to his channel, and if you want to check out the full video, all of the characters, how he breaks them all down, I'll put a link to that in the description as well, and please do check it out. Yeah, so by the time I edit this down for you guys, it'll probably be much smaller and more focused, but I thought it'd be fun to kind of watch things together and check out the characters. So, let's do that. Here we go.
Good.
Oh,
so
did you see Luang? Luang looking pretty sexy. I might be jumping around sometimes, guys, because I'm sure there's going to be characters I'm just like,
I'm
sorry.
The fireball, he has an uppercut, that kind of stuff.
Terry.
He also has a lot of just really fantastic long-range normals.
As he does.
And all that kind of stuff. His ability to just press buttons is pretty dang good. Also, there's some very fun changes for him in this version of the game. He received back his Power Dunk special move, also has some bonuses on it, as its armor.
That's
can actually blow through attacks.
I didn't even notice that during the beta that he was in.
Also, his shoulder charge is special cancelable into his character, and also a pretty good all-rounder and pretty beginner-friendly. He has a fireball, and his fireball is wicked fast.
His fireball is pretty.
He has a nice, pretty purple uppercut, very invincible.
I'm sorry.
And other fun tools.
The things I like.
Fighters, things are a little different than some other fighting games, as lots of characters have command grabs.
You know, I actually do think that
he can easily just crack you open. No big deal, thanks to his command grab.
Iori's like a style of character that, like, I would enjoy his playstyle.
So technically these are 3 different moves you can
Yeah,
choose together. So
that's
you can
pretty
stop
cool.
at 1,
Rekkas.
you can go for 2, or you can go for all 3.
I feel like
good
I'm
for
gonna try him
combos, also
out,
good for
you
mind
know.
games where, am I going to keep going for it or not? Because you can delay these as well. On top of normals, he has really good normals. He has one of the most infamous sweeps in the history.
Like, it's funny because in most fighting games, I don't play like any guy characters, and
the taco. So the taco is that guy right there.
that looks
where he
really
keeps funny
good.
in the backwards angle, and he hits.
But
the
there's
opponent
some in King of
And
Fighters
this
that kind of
can hit
appeals to
very
me.
deep
I think I'm gonna
and
try
very
Iori.
ambiguously sometimes. It's very easy for Iori to sometimes just a big part of his offense and very famous over the years. His variety of command normals makes his life pretty easy. Something like forward light kick, that's an overhead normally. But if you want to use it in the middle of a combo, it's no longer an overhead, but then it becomes special cancelable. Also, he has a 2-hitting command normal here and forward light punch,
He's
and
like,
if you want to use it, say off like crouching
he's
light
like,
punch here, multiple hits,
like
you have 3
claws.
hits to hit confirm, and then you can just very easily assess you got the hit or not, and then go into your special moves. Iori can basically play any game plan he wants. That's one of the best
that's what
things
I like
about
to
him.
hear.
He just is very, very freeform on just everything, really. Kind of so.
Okay, here
So
we go.
He's the big boy of the game, I guess. He is.
I played him a little bit in
Although, being the king of fighters, even though he's big,
in 14
he can still
once,
run, and he
which
still
was
has
once,
super jumps, hops, all that kind of stuff.
because I was
All
trying to get the
mobility
bird
options.
team.
Although maybe he doesn't
And-
have some of the characters. But probably the first
The
thing
secret
you're
ending.
thinking of is, does he have a big grab and does he have
He's like
armor and
the
yes,
antithesis
devote.
of everything in my
For grabs,
playstyle and like
he
what I
has
would play.
the old Azuna drop.
But he's
He'll
hilarious.
get you pretty good.
He's
Also,
funny.
you get more than you bargained for. You get more than just the grab. The EX version is a running version, which is very fast and very difficult to react to. And the heavy version has armor. So here King's going to boot us in the head, right? Thing is, sorry about that, King. We're going to take your hit and then slam you on your head.
I'm gonna get command grabbed so
you can
many
either choose
times.
the quick
Emmy,
version of the power
please
grab or
don't.
the slower, armored version of your command grab.
My plea
And
out
this
into
one
the
has
world.
armor or game. Now Ash,
Ash,
Crimson, he's
really?
a little different.
Zoner.
So on paper, he's
Zoner.
because he has basically a sonic boom style move. Charge, back, hit forward, punch, and he can do this. Also, he has a doubled up version if you're heavy punch instead. And yes, if you hold down and up, he has a flash kick style
Wait,
move.
so he's like
So
Guile?
in essence,
Is this not the
Zoner,
character that everyone
right?
was always like
Also,
complaining
he
the
has
most
ability to
about?
control the screen.
Difficulty?
With this little bomb here, each button is basically a different distance this little bomb is set. And after a set amount of time, it explodes.
Because I'm really interested
So
in
if you
like
try to get in,
just
you have to worry about this
aesthetically.
thing being in your face because it might explode.
But
And
him
if
also
you
being a
press the
zoner,
button,
that
the
kind
other
of
side
like
moves
that
forward,
makes me
goes
even
forward,
more
so
interested.
It's basically a little bit of a hold back forward kick rushing move, basically. Good for ending combos, and the EX is very generous on starting combos. And all that kind of stuff.
Slap.
So if you're just looking for like basic combo potential, like he definitely has your back on that. So that's the easy part, right? Like
Okay,
overall,
here we
when you
go.
look at the basics, Ash Crimson is an easy character, except for the one thing.
Yeah.
So he has what we would call an. What does this move offer you? So first thing is this: it completely removes the charge requirements of all your moves. So I can walk forward and throw my
Oh,
projectile. I can walk forward and do my flash.
Okay,
style
so I
move.
played Chun in Street Fighter,
It gives you
and
total freedom in
that
regard.
is
Removing the charge
huge.
requirements from the moves makes them a lot stronger. Naturally,
Yeah.
right? And also lets you do any of your command normals, and let that is something that's possible that would never be possible without the install.
Excuse me?
So there you go. Probably not the best example at all. You definitely do way better than that. But it's an idea of what is possible.
Okay.
Basically, Ash is
I mean,
a standard zoner character. Except
I definitely
when
want to
you're
try
looking
this
to burn the
character
meter,
out. Like,
he becomes
at
a
first
crazy
I just
tumble
kind of
monkey
wanted to,
dog
I wanted to
that can
because
do
of like
stuff nobody else
the
in
look
cast can do.
of the
So
character,
that
the
sounds
character,
good
but
to you. Ash Crimson is your character.
he looks pretty fun.
Next we have May Tenku.
Sleepy Zoner. This is because the character is sleepy. He's calling it a Sleepy Zoner. Oh my god.
Next up is
Oh,
Cronin.
Cronin.
In my opinion, Cronin's one of
I
the
played
best
him a little bit in the
characters.
second beta, and he was really easy and cheap.
It's pretty decent.
So I mean,
One of the
I
best
could
things
play
about
him
him
again.
is
Like
his
it was
jump
actually
attacks.
pretty fun because
So when he
like
jumps
look
and
at
he does
this,
either
look at
of
these
his
moves,
buttons,
look at
They're
this.
basically active till he lands on the ground, and they're all multi-hitting.
The opposite here, yes.
Whereas he was pretty easy, she's by a mile the absolute most difficult character in this game. I know you probably
It's
like
just trying to be like
a lot of people do, but
Rooflemonger is like,
have to put in the time.
just warning you right now.
Why is that? Well, she has this thing called the
I'm gonna try her.
Circle. So we have Unchained Start.
Mm-hmm.
This is a bunch of starters, and then it goes to your Unchained Mid, where you have all these options, and then also Feints, which is another thing, and then you have your Finish,
Wait.
which is a whole bunch of other options.
So
basically, think of it like a rec style of.
So is the
series,
reason
except
she's
you have,
considered so
like, 6
hard
starters, 6
because
mids, and 6 enders,
you have to learn
and,
so
the
many
mids can go
different
into more mids,
options,
and you can go back into a starter, and you can go back into a mid, and then go back into
and
a
then
finish.
kind of like decide on the fly
for
which
example,
option
just a
you
couple
think is
ideas
the
here.
best.
So this guy here is down forward light kick. This is a low. Down forward heavy kick is an overhead.
Because that
And
sounds
both
like it
these
would take
guys,
time,
the
but like
overhead,
wouldn't necessarily be
and go into
hard,
punch, which is
per
the
se?
second part
I don't
of
know,
the
maybe it's
Unchained
just
Circle.
like
But
for
then
me,
again, I don't have to
hard
reload, I
has
can do
more to do
back
with
forward heavy
physical
kick,
execution
which
because I
also
have
is
like
a starter for Unchained
my
Circle,
or
the Unchained Step,
hand
which is a bit of a run,
my hand
and
tremors
depending on how
weakness.
close you are to the enemy,
But like
also
actually
kinda
how much you have to
works as like a
think
side switch
about,
and
that's
teleport, or I can go for the big gut punch.
and
And
just
the gut punch is
memorize,
also
that's
a valid
fine.
starter. You can see it doesn't
I like
combo,
that part.
at least normally. But it is a valid starter. So these are all things you can start from. And forward
That
punch
actually
is just
sounds
one of
cool.
many options. There's also up punch, forward kick, down kick, up kick. Like there's so many things, and that's just the middle part. Because we also have our enders. So it could be a natural.
And that
follow-up,
honestly, it also it's kind of like
we also have
a
stuff like a leaping command grab.
Killer Instinct
So after this,
too.
we end our combo,
You know?
and we just try for the throw.
You have starters,
also
linkers,
have
and
things
enders,
like
and that you on the fly
launchers.
have to decide which to use.
Combos in specific ways 'cause they don't
That's
work
actually
by
pretty
themselves.
cool.
Big just smashes. As you can see him just being the
Jeez,
badass
okay.
blades.
Okay.
Kula
Ooh.
Diamond is another character that's absolutely excellent for beginners. Her game plan is pretty
We love to
simple,
hear that.
and it has been buffed pretty big time as well in the King of Fighters 15.
It has.
So first up here, one of the things. she
Yeah, that
does is
snowman
rolls.
thing, right?
Stuff like stand light hit really good, stand heavy punch really good, has quite a bit of range. Her
We
stand
love
CC
range.
Also has a lot of range to get it off. You can't just toss it out willy nilly.
I like this creepy
Also,
carnival
brand new to the
stage
King
too,
of
by the
Fighters
way.
15 Is these guys?
Yes, the snowman.
Toss friggin'
Like-
snowmen at you. Comes right from the
Snowmen
start,
on their wake up,
and
like,
you have the ability
come
to eat,
on.
and if you want to do the EX version, you can also summon multiples as well. Pretty handy. So that helps her give her
Love
a game
it.
plan she never had before, and that's pressure. So in a lot of situations where you're knocked down, you can't get up with any kind of like roll up or tech or whatever. She can now just kind of
Snowman!
set these bad boys on top of your head, and you kind of got a groove on it. And then she can pressure you after the fact.
See,
So
I
that
want
helps
to
her
do
out
that.
a
I
lot.
want to throw
But
snowmen.
if you're just looking for an all-rounder, good buttons.
The character I wanted to see. And counter zoner, okay. And like I did definitely also was like watching her like I don't really know what is happening in her trailer. So
So one of the things mentioned first, I suppose, is her projectile. It's very non-standard. So it goes to
What's
where it's
it
going, but
doing?
before it gets there, it can't hit anything.
wait,
As you
what?
see, It just goes clear through the enemy, right? But once it gets where it's going, it's just there and very active the whole time. Also, hits as well. So if you want to like bypass people's stuff, or just
So,
whatever,
like, you can set it up
control
kinda like a
all the
trap
screens
then, I
and
guess?
for it, as it's just a
Is
big
that-
block, like it's just a roadblock basically, just hanging out and owning that whole part. It's a little different. You're losing the fireball war. She doesn't have to play that game at all.
So does
She
Ash.
just
This is
goes back in
like
enemy's
the
face.
stylish
In terms of
team.
combo structure and specials, she has her uppercut.
And Kukri somehow, I
And the
don't know.
uppercut, well, it makes for very forgiving combos. As you go uppercut, uppercut, EX uppercut, and then like some sort of ender, right? It allows for a
Excuse
lot
me?
and very easy juggle potential in basically any combo you want to do.
Excuse me?
Also, Elizabeth has a very non-standard counter solution. So she can counter attacks, but she doesn't just flip you.
Yes,
on
this
the
is the thing I was
head.
wondering
What
about
happens
from
is
the.
She kind of like does a very fast teleport behind you.
So it's almost
And
like
this one here is
the. I don't know if
covered,
anyone
you know,
plays
like
Melty Blood.
mids,
It's like the
it'll cover
shield.
lows and mids, so you can get all sorts of angles attacked.
Like it's a type of
Although
parry,
it does
but
a
it
high
acts as like a shield.
correctly. But if you catch people early enough into a move, you definitely get a guaranteed punish. And the EX version gives you like even more.
I
punch
like
stuff, so your ability to
this.
punch a move.
What?
Much
Projectiles too? So it is.
Also, the EX version catches everything. so you don't have to guess high or low anymore. He just gets everything high, mid, and low.
Oh, I like
Honestly,
that.
I'm not too sure on Elizabeth.
I definitely like
She's
that.
very different from what I remember her from older games, but she can control space counters to help curtail the offense.
I'm pretty into this.
Coming off
Athena,
Elizabeth, I already mentioned how-
archetype Psycho Ball.
Meet the queen of the zoners, Athena. So,
Oh my god.
Psycho Ball,
Rooflemonger.
Psycho Ball, Psycho Ball, Psycho Ball, Psycho Ball.
You could hear the
Very
irritation
good
in his
that
voice.
bottom
I can't
And
wait
nice
to be that
fast
person
version
that
of
makes it
the
happen.
The new light version, make it nice and slower. You can follow up after the fact. Those are pretty handy. Also,
Look at how adorable she is in this game.
She also counters zone.
Oh, I'm so
So
excited.
she also has her own
I'm so
reflex.
excited.
Reflex also has a hitbox, so you can hit people with it. So she can both zone you out and counter zone as well.
Midnight
She
on the
has
14th.
all
Can't
sorts
come
of
soon
options.
enough.
On top of that, mobility. She has teleports. You can stay same
That's
side.
my
go
girl.
past the enemy. Get the nice quick one. That's like in a blink of an eye. She's got all
I
sorts
don't
of
know,
weird
Andy's
air
outfit's looking kind of
mobility.
sharp.
She can do a lot. Like, Athena is a very annoying character. And hey, wait a second. We got all these weird gimmicks. We got fireballs. We got the new Psycho Shoot as well. She hasn't had this move in a hot minute. So it's a different style of projectile than the Psycho Ball. in
Even
that
more
it launches
projectiles?
the enemy on block. That's great. So we have all this. So
I get
naturally,
even more
we need a pentagram
projectiles?
to top it off, because that's how this game works.
Oh my god. Athena, I love you so much.
And that's just like the tip of the iceberg, right? You can spend meter and get more options. So Athena is definitely an oddball. And naturally enough, fireballs, different kind of fireballs, counter zoning, teleports, gimmicks. People are going to get frustrated and they're going to want to try to jump at you. And that's why she also has enough to cut the top everything off.
As she should.
So, yeah, if you want to lose friends, Athena is a really good way to do it. She's one of the best characters that frustrates people.
I
because
did.
there's a lot of
Emmy
options
told me he
to
said that. I
control
forgot.
movement on the screen.
Before I watch this, Emmy.
And her attitude while doing it can definitely also acts appropriately. So here we have Shermie. Shermie definitely, when she was announced, caused a bit of a stir. as she
Pixie
has,
grappler,
I
yes.
guess you say a look a lot of people find appealing.
Oh yeah,
So
that's
Shermie
way
is a
one way of
grappler.
putting it.
She's not the
But
ultra-hardcore grappler.
yeah, so
like
I played her
Arcade.
some in the
She's not
first
quite
beta,
the
so I have
powerhouse grappler
a
that
bit of a
King Dinosaur
sense,
did,
and I
but
actually
what
had a
she
lot
did
more fun with her than I
is a hell
anticipated.
of a lot faster than both of them. While she might not put out the raw power, her mobility is way beyond both.
And
In terms of just
she
like
looks
walks,
better.
runs, speed jumps, all that kind of stuff, but also just how her moves work. Like, yes, she has the
And,
that
like,
character. Now,
things.
these famous ladies in all of fighting game history, all of video game
Shermie.
history, really. So if you're looking for a character that just wants to own the neutral, this is the character. And I'm not talking like throwing fireballs and stuff like that, although her projectile is very good. And if you're a fan of Guilty Gear and Jimito, the X version bonks you on the head when it goes on the way up there, so you gotta watch out for that.
Really, so Mai's supposed to be like a
Stuff I'm
neutral
talking about
footsies
is,
type
like,
character?
stand-
That's
stand
interesting.
like this.
Like, I know that she was
Look at the
supposed, like, she's
absolute
like the
conserving
Chun-Li,
and speed of
right?
this move. Now, if you crouch, it'll go over your head.
Of this
It has to
game.
have a weakness, right? But also can very
So,
easily stop people
if-
trying to hop in the air and all that kind of stuff. Just a very dominant.
So I guess that would
foe.
make sense. And I
And
play
pretty much
her,
what
so
said
maybe I
earlier,
should.
Giant arc covers all sorts of just everywhere.
Maybe I should try Mai
Her
more.
Stand CD is one of the most dominant in the game. It's
Like, I was gonna
definitely
try
worse
her
than 16
anyway,
Fighters 14.
for sure, but-
It's actually worse now, but it doesn't really matter because it's still absolutely one of the best. And much the same with the jumping version. Jumping version got nerfed a little bit, but it's still a giant, ignorant, massive normal that takes up a lot of space. Like, if you're the person who doesn't like to commit to anything, you can literally just hide behind this and just go crazy.
Oh.
Also helps the fact that, say you want to special cancel it, it'll hit, it's a natural combo. And if you have like any kind of meter to work with, you're going to lose half your life because her level 3 goes exactly full screen. And this is a hell of a price to pay for getting hit by one big button.
Lovely.
Because
I like that.
half your life. On top of just big buttons and neutral. So going from one pretty girl to another,
Luang.
Now,
Ooh,
Luang
that's
also
just
is a
look
very
at
strong
her
neutral character, just like
walk.
Mai is.
God, why
But
is she so
Mai
pretty?
does it a pretty different way. No projectiles, nothing like that. But
Ooh.
yes, very, very, very long range pokes, as you
Wait.
can see here. If you've ever played older King of Fighters and you know the character Yamazaki,
That looks
Yamazaki
longer
might look the same,
than
but you
in
can-
14. Am I going crazy? That looks like
you
it.
go high,
They
go low, all
they
that
look
kind
like
of
they
stuff.
hit further.
And yes, this is a true low, by the way. You have to block that.
Am I
crouching.
going crazy
And she
here,
can
or
watch
is
stand
that?
And also hold it. So she and she can go underneath a lot of moves while doing this. Luang has more new toys too. Not
Really?
Just stance stuff. She got an all-new move. This double kick here. It's quarter circle back, light punch or heavy punch.
Oh, I like that.
Combo fodder. So before.
I like that. I feel like
that,
she needed that.
But now, you can get that, get a little bit more damage at a bare minimum. And unlike, say, the EX flick kick here, well, it did its damage. You also now get a wall bounce off this
Oh,
guy.
shit.
So you get a lot of combo ability. And here's the thing. So
Okay, I feel like
already
this is really good.
big
I'm not
old
gonna
movement,
lie.
right?
Luang is one of the characters that, like,
You EX
first
also
stood out
has
to
a
me
launcher. So
when I
now
watched all
she
those
has a
trailers,
wall
and then I
bounce.
played 14, and I was like, she's
And
kind of
a
fun,
launcher.
but
So her
she
combo
seems like she's
ability now
missing
is
some things.
totally gone through the roof
So I
compared
was
to what
definitely
she
gonna
had
play her in
before.
this game, but I wasn't
She
sure,
had combo
like,
routes, sure,
if she'd be
but
at,
she
like,
was
the
not one of
top
heavier combo
anymore.
characters. Now her combo
But
potential
this
is
makes me
much
way
higher.
more excited for her.
So now basic
Like-
strikes
Like,
just carry a lot more damage potential, basically, as you can air reset them and tackle them.
wow. She looks like she was majorly improved. Ah!
Also, one of the biggest winners of EX
Hates to
is
play
jumping
against.
heavy punch. Is one of the best cross-ups in the game, so there's that as well. Heidern is pretty cool, y'all. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Now let's talk about Heidern's
Ooh,
teammate, Dolores.
yes.
So Dolores is a newcomer. She's all new. Never
And of
been
course,
in
I
a
played her in the
game
first
before,
beta too, and
man,
she
she's a
seemed
cool friggin'
she was
character. Oh my
she was
God.
fun,
So,
and she's like,
the
look
first
at her,
thing
she's
is
like a
just, her
goddess.
style. She's like
Oh,
Mayhem or
what?
something. Like, it's really cool look.
I
And
felt like
has
she was
the power
she
of
was
the
difficult
earth,
though.
specifically,
I definitely felt like she was
soil,
more
mud, clay,
difficult,
that kind of stuff. If you ever
complicated.
played Mortal Kombat 11, Garrus, I guess, would be a lot of ways some of the closest similarities. She has
I
a
said
projectile
that.
goes
I
4
said
different
that.
distances. This all depends on which button you're pressing. So, and this is punches and kicks.
I say that as I'm like
the screen just
making
off
content
that.
from his
She
content.
has range command grabs. When I say range, I mean range. Like, she can hit you from a very far. While
Lord,
everything he has in
yeah.
his toolbox
This is like,
is
no,
to
leave me alone,
kill
Chris.
you. This is another newcomer to the franchise. She is the rival.
Man, I don't know.
Here, she also has these.
That's
crazy
just
moves.
amazing.
So just like Shunei,
'Cause,
breaks
like,
a lot of the rules, and she's an incredibly airborne.
It does seem
character.
like it's kind of
I don't know
confusing
what
how
it
you're
is about
supposed to
having more
play
hands
with
makes
her,
you more
right?
airborne, but there you go, right? So some of
But
the
she's
stuff,
so cool.
Like, she has a quarter circle forward.
Like, I
and
really
every
wanna
punch
play
you
her.
kick and quarter circle back, every punch you kick in the air. Like, quarter circle forward, light punch.
She's clearly,
Quarter
yeah,
circle
she's
forward,
supposed to spend a lot of
heavy
time in the
punch.
air,
These are
but
double
like,
jumps. So just like Shunei has air dashes.
what
she
exactly
has
is her
double jumps.
playstyle
Quarter
is
circle
definitely
forward,
is
light kick is a dive
confusing.
kick.
Like, what's...
And heavy kick is a different kind of dive kick with a different angle. Quarter circle backs, these are like jaguar kicks here. And quarter circle back light punch, these are more double jumps. So like, she has all sorts of insane coverage and insane angles in the air. Now, adding to this whole non-standard fest, her fireball is very different. So first up, it is basically thrown at like a high angle, 45 degrees downwards, versus like the more traditional, trajectories, right? Kind of gotta put the time into her and figure out where you want to go, because right now, as the time of me making this
I
video,
wanna play
I
her,
don't know what I
though.
want to do with her. She's definitely a
But she's
very
so
crazy
cool.
character. Now,
Oh,
I
whip.
don't wanna
Alright,
give it
yes, I wanted to
away,
check her
but
out,
it's
too.
kinda all in the name, because it's about the whip. So heavy punch is a low, and all these moves, by the way, are holdable. So I can just kind of groove on it here and just let it rock. And
So
move
it,
right
yeah,
to
it's
the
got
beat.
some very
And kick
poisonish
and roll.
vibes.
Now, whip also has the half circle forward punch buttons, and it's just a very dramatic
Woo!
animation, just whip and just left, right, and center here, as you can see. And also the heavy punch version has quite a bit of invincibility to it. So Ralph walks up here, as you see the kick went just clear through us.
Always nice.
Also much the same for anti-airs here. You can see the kick just went completely through us, right? So this is basically one of her defensive options. The animation's very long, so you have to make sure it hits. That's the penalty, right? But otherwise, she has a way to defend herself. And once again, yeah, she's definitely meant to be like more of a keep you out kind of character, but she does have some tricks and gimmicks. Like, she does have an overhead move. You have to block this standing. And combine that with the fact that she has a very long range fast low that can go into command normal. It's gonna definitely want to make you want to block low, which is exactly when you.
The
press
whip
the step
sounds
up.
are very cool. They did a good
She
job
has
with
some
it.
weird air mobility. Of course, go back punch in the air.
So
Which
you could
punch
be like,
do
what is
depends
she
on, how you flip forward.
doing?
It just gives her a lot of wackadoodle, just jump angles basically. And her jump heavy punch is an amazing jump in. It's also a very generous cross up as well. So you can kind of land on people's heads and You do it right, you don't even know what end you're going to line up on.
Oh, well,
And it's perfect, because if you don't know which side's going to cross up, how would they know, right?
but you need to know. Hold on.
Let's go at that.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, you know, a big brute like a Shiro.
Wait,
let's go
zoner.
Classy and have King. So King.
King's supposed to be a zoner? Like when I think of King, I think of like the jump in like multi-kicky thing, or the like
Not to say she doesn't
or
have, like,
quarter
stuff,
combo
like, good
kicks.
buttons. She has like serviceable buttons, all that, but the fireball and the double fireball, especially, definitely some of her tricks.
Yeah, I mean those seem pretty
and
good.
She has gotten her air fireball.
Wait, now
So
she has an
doesn't
air
have this
fireball.
in the King of Fighters 14. So this just makes the entire fireball,
shit.
the entire fireball game so much
Wait a
more
second.
deadly and irritating.
Wait a
The
second.
fireball in the air, well, you shoot it. It's kind of whatever. Right?
Wait a
And you can also do the
second.
tiger knee technique, so you can do it very
Hold
well.
on.
The heavy version
Suddenly
moves you very far back. So not
Suddenly,
only are you shooting fireballs,
even more
from a pretty
interesting
decent
to
angle that can
me.
be difficult to jump over, you're also constantly retreating while doing it. So her general like fireball / annoyance game is going up big time.
Really? Okay, that makes her a lot more interesting to me. Like she already was on the list, but
That's wicked fast. That's
like
crazy. She also got back one of her old command normals from a very long time ago. Forward light kick. This is a true overhead, so you do have to block this standing. I know it looks a little weird, but the old game it comes from, it also looks weird there, so I suppose it's faithful enough. Besides that, she still has her old classics, the old tornado kick, which if you want to do the X version, can ground bounce and then launch up for combo ability. Trap kick is basically when you start deciding you're going to jump over the fireballs. And basically, it's here to make
yeah,
sure
like
that
this
choice
is what I
all
think
to your
of.
head. King's game plan is a little simplistic in the end, but simplistic definitely doesn't mean it's not effective, because effective.
That's cool. I don't know. I feel like I'm
Especially with her
definitely
old slide still here.
was
So
already
she
interested in
can
her,
do
but
basic
more
stuff like this, toss
interested.
fireballs,
If that makes
slide and
sense.
fireball toss, 'cause it's
Like I
like
said that a
sensible.
few times already.
If you like being annoyed with
This is
fireballs,
not helping me
or have
narrow
some
characters
respectable
down. It's just
normals
making
and
me
a decent control of the screen as well,
more
King
excited
is
for
the
more
character for you.
characters.
Now, Chizuru is an
Ooh,
odd one. She's a
Chizuru!
classic character,
Zoder-
very important to the story
sorta?
in the franchise.
I actually
The
had a
gameplay-wise,
ton of
she's a
fun
bit
with
of
her
a
in the
nutter.
beta, even though she's
First thing I'd be
complicated.
remiss not to mention
Like
is
I
the
definitely want to
moves.
play her more.
So stand heavy kick is just pretty ridiculous in all aspects, so that's really good. But how she plays is through illusion.
She's probably the
that
character I
contains
had the
her
most
power.
fun with out of
And
the
she
two
has a lot
betas.
of clones. Like this move is down light punch. And sure
Yeah.
enough, all right, following suit with the clone. So once again, down light punch.
That was
right?
kind of
Following
confusing
suit with
doing a
the clone.
Chizuru
Now let's do
mirror.
down light kick. Oh, now I am the clone. Me. So I can send out a fake, or I can send in the real deal.
Like she was
And
very
that's how
fun
a
for
lot of her
me.
moveset works. You basically just make the enemy guess, is this the real Chizuru, or is this a fake Chizuru? And a lot of her moveset just revolves around this. Sending out clones, sometimes they're fake, and sometimes they're the real deal.
I'm a zoner, but what I'm
And
zoning
also,
with is
certain
me.
moves here, you can also like cancel or stop. Like sending this clone running for you. Now, Kukri.
Oh god. Like I can't take him seriously after SNK heroines.
So he has a fireball, quote unquote. Over the years, things change up good. So she has a lot of.
Oh yeah, I saw on Twitter that like people were saying she's a lot better.
She also has a charge mechanic. So she has the art of fighting style of fireball, which isn't a real fireball, but
Yeah.
it is really good at controlling space, right? But you can now hold it and now get a proper fireball instead. So you now have the option.
Hold
You want to
up.
You get a fireball, and if not, well, then not.
The lack of this
Let's just
was
say
one
you
of the
get the EX as
things
Well. So if you do the regular EX, you get the big old blast and control space really good.
was one
And
of
if
the
you wanna
things
hold it,
in
then you get a
14 that
multi-hit
made me
fireball.
like less
Pretty
into her.
Yuri's always had a
'Cause
lot
she's got a lot of
options to
other
work
cool
with. Like, she has pretty
tools.
decent normals, like stand fierce punch is very good. Her jump heavy punch as well has a very good angle.
So
to
that
it.
like
She has multiple command normals like her. Flying
definitely
attack,
seems to make her
down forward
higher
heavy kick is
up
basically
in
something
a
that doesn't knock down.
my
So you
interest
can use it in
levels.
combo structure, that kind of stuff. She still has her very good dive kick, and she can do it jumping backwards, upwards, forward, whatever. Very quick, very workable for sure. She still has her demon flip, so she can do all sorts of stuff from there for sure. Be basic attacks. You can throw all sorts of fireballs. Because she does have air
Akuma!
fireballs, good ones at that. She can either control to stay in the air, or she can kind of fall with the fireball. It's her choice as the player. Which one you want to do. Light kick stays in the air, heavy kick falls with it. If you're unaware, she definitely rips off Akuma a lot. That's why she has stuff like the demon flip. It's for Capcom ripping off Ryo and Robert, basically. If you want to do the EX Air Fireball, it's double hitting, just like classical Shinakuma, right? So there you go. Tools to work with for sure. If you like having a little bit of a lot, Yuri is that kind of character. So Blue Mary.
Yes, and Blue Mary.
Has moves that don't quite work.
I played her too in the beta.
Say this example here. So charge back.
Although I don't feel like I played her as much.
So in and of itself, it's like a sliding kick.
As I played
So say we do the light version.
Oh my goodness, I'm tired.
If we do say quarter circle forward and kick after the fact when it hits.
As I played Shermie, but they both kind of made me think, you know, some grappling stuff can be fun.
We instead get like a leg break, right? You can see here. And if we do quarter circle forward and punches after the EX version, it shocks them, and then we have them in a combo okay state after the fact. And a lot of our moves work this way. They have follow-ups, like Dragon Punch motion and kick. It's like, you know, an uppercut style of kick, right? But if it connects,
that was like super satisfying to land.
And then you land on the ground and like break their neck. So you're awarded additional damage
because it looks so cool.
Correctly. Stuff like quarter circle forward and punch. This is basically her flip kick. And if you connect and then hit quarter circle forward punch again, you do a rolling arm bar instead.
It's just like her follow-ups.
Like, everything has very nice and very brutal follow-up animations.
Are just so cool looking.
On top of all this, she's a quasi-grappler. So stuff like Dragon Punch motion and punch is a leaping.
Yeah, like that one.
Breaks your arm, right? So this is a true grab. You cannot defend against it in any way. And it's basically a reaction test. Did I catch you sleeping? Or were you looking for something else? Because, you know, this also sort of looks like the beginning of a hop or a jump, right? And so if you're looking to block that, you might get hit by this instead. You can be thrown out of it, but any kind of
I was trying to figure this out so much in the beta, and I did not understand. So this is helping me.
So in a lot of ways, it is effectively like a semi-invincible command grab. You don't have to do the grab follow-up, but ideally you would. And it has stuff like projectile invincibility. So
what?
All the way invincible to
I didn't know that.
Grabs. So at any given point,
this is important and informative.
You can just do this, then go into the command grab. You'll avoid the mash and then command grab them. That's very handy, and each version works the same way.
It's all making so much more sense now.
You get multiple Germans, Brock Lesnar style. Also, one of her supers is also a command grab on top of this.
God, I feel like I learned a lot.
It's gonna be.
So big shoutouts, Rooflemonger.
Like roster, a lot of very fun characters, a lot of very unique characters.
This must have been so much work. He just got the game. It must have taken so long.
Pretty easily. The only issue being maybe you have a lot more than 3 characters you find pretty cool.
Yes, that's me.
A pretty good
that's my issue.
So when the time comes and you're playing the game, don't be afraid to just pick someone, head in training mode, see what they're all about. They're all pretty fun. So my friends, we're now at the end of the video. Finally, I know, right? If you could drop a like,
yes, definitely go check him out.
But otherwise, we're at the end of the video.
Alright, well, that was a very long video. If you're watching on YouTube, it's definitely going to be majorly cut down my version. So like I said, for any characters that I didn't watch and talk about and react to at all, because there was definitely some that I skipped, or any that you just don't get to see because I cut it out for YouTube to break it down, so I wasn't watching way too much of it. Please do go watch the original video on Rooflemonger's channel. Like I said, I'm linking that in the description below. And huge thanks and shout out to him, because I feel like this was a very informative video. There were certain things that I had no idea about, even things from the beta that I tried to execute and was very confused, that this definitely helped me with. And also gave me a lot of insight into characters whose trailers I watched and who I had not been able to play, say, in some previous games, and this definitely helped me get a sense of their playstyle way more, which would help me in terms of determining my levels of interest, and gave some good information about changes to characters. I feel like I just came away with more characters that I wanted to play than I even already had, which is just rough, right? It's like, I mean, no, it's actually a good problem to have so many characters you want to try. So I'll be one of those people that's just spending so much time trying to figure it out. The top of my list, Athena is definitely still there, and like, yes, definitely going to be trying her out immediately. The same with Kula. And Isla is a character who I really want to put more time into. I played her in the beta and she's just so cute and fun, but she's complicated. She's hard. And then in addition to them, I definitely want to play more with Chizuru because I had a ton of fun with her in the beta too. And I know she's complicated, but I think that I could really enjoy that character. Luang is also at the top of my list. I am super happy that it seems like she's gotten a lot better, so I can't wait to try her out. But then, you know, I just want to try out all the girls, honestly. I'm gonna try all of them. I'm definitely way more interested in King and Yuri than I was previously. They were both on my list to try, but like now they both seem way more exciting to me. I don't know, especially with the additional things they've gotten in this game. Elizabeth seems super cool. Like Elizabeth, okay, so her and Ash are both characters that I really want to play around with. They are also super exciting to me. But Ash isn't even the only guy. Like I want to go back and play Cronin some more. I want to try Iori because he definitely seems like way more my play style than a lot of characters. And he seems good. And and Heidern as well. Heidern, even though like he's saying like he's gonna hurt your hand, so it might not work out. That's still a character I would want to give a chance to. So there's a ton. There's like a lot of characters on my list, guys. So it's gonna be fun. I can't wait. The next few weeks, there's going to be lots of playing around with lots of characters. And that's another character that, like, I was going to try, but I'm way more excited for now that have just, like, gone up on my list. So, super excited. Anyway, I'm going to be publishing this on the 13th, so at that point, there will be less than a day before I get my hands on it, and I will be streaming and making lots of videos, so I'm super excited. Hope you guys are as well. Who are you going to play when you get your hands on it? Yeah, and I'm going to wrap this up now. Again, huge thanks to Rooflemonger, and definitely go watch his video. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.